this is the admin subdomain. Okay, so Jannah would only talk to you from those two domains. If you try to talk to Jannah in any other sub URL, it bursts, right? So let's try it. Let's see what that looks like. If I say Jannah, right? It doesn't work, right? If I say Jannah, it doesn't work, okay? It completely ignores it, right? So the way we do that is we specify our root URL. And what that means is those are the URLs we serve, and those are the URLs we honor, right? And what this does here, the templates file, this is really for Django's Jinga templates. Specifically for our Django implementation, we're not necessarily using this. I just leave this here for now. Eventually I might comment this out. Because what we do as far as presentation, we have a separate web application, or it's a Vue.js web application. There'll be another video where I talk details about that application. Of course, we're going to do some more detailed tours of our front ends. So this specific video is a detailed tour of our middleware application, which is basically our backend, right? Because Django and the database are connected. So our middleware application is sort of like our backend application in the sense that it sits on top of the database. This template file is basically used by Django usually to render user interface, but we're not using Django for front end presentation. Okay, so that's done. Let's come down here. So the WSGI application, when we run Jannah behind a web app, behind a web server like Apache or Gunicon or or Daphne, if we would specify the WSGI or ASGI specifications, but because we're in development mode right now, we run Jannah we run it just typically just through. Actually, let me give you a quick look of what that looks like. Let's go. Right, so this is what Jannah looks like, right? This is basically I'm sitting inside the Jannah container. The middleware, it looks like this, right? So you're looking at the logs on the middleware. So if I go here, right? So for development purposes, when I want to run Jannah, all I say, right? For development purposes, we're just running Jannah like this. We're not running it like behind, Apache or anything like that. I'm using Istio as a front end for now, okay? When we go to production level, this might change, okay? I just want to give a sense of what that looks like. Okay, so databases. Databases is actually how Django persists data, right? So this here. So if you're familiar with Postgres, in Postgres you have a database URL, right, that you generate with the username and password. So what we do, we feed that into Jannah, right? So we feed that as an environment variable, right? What this library do, this Django database URL library, it takes that database URL and sets it as our default database, right? And then it says, okay, our default database engine, our backend is so we're basically saying the Jannah database backend is a Postgres backend, right? That's what we're saying there, right? Okay. So, given that, take a sip here quick. Okay. Given that, we also have in our configuration file for Django password validators, right? So what these do, if a user is creating a password, it kind of enforces certain kind of constraint on the password just to make sure people don't create passwords like ABC123 or password, it kind of forces the user to create a, complicated, some kind of a complex password. And that's all this is. These two right now, these are just set up right now for development purposes. These can, these are going to be changing over time as we go into production. So to basically, make sure users are choosing, hard, strong passwords. Okay, that's what that is. And over here, what you're looking at, these are basically language settings. So we're basically saying at runtime, we're running in English mode. So I'm developing this as an English speaker. So I'm basically saying when Django is talking to me from the front end over here, right, to use the English language. Right, so it's an English language deployment, right? So that's what this is here. I'm basically saying our language code is English, specifically United States English. Okay, I'm saying the time zone is UTC. Okay, Universal Time Zone. I'm basically saying do use internalization, right? So if I were to run this app in Portugal, if I were to run this app in France or some other non-English speaking context, we should be able to render our front end in that language as well. Okay, that's what this is about. All of this as well will change over time as we go into production. One more time. Jannah right now is like a brand new baby. It's learning, it's growing. It will get complicated over time. All of these parameters you see here will change, and as Jannah grows and evolves. Okay. So we're also saying here our static URL, so media files. Okay. This is pictures, icons. If we're using any icons on the website.